The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Pete in Long Island. Hey, Pete, what's going on?
Hey, Tom. Good evening, and I want to give you a big thank you. Last night I called for your advice, and you gave me such wonderful and correct information. If you remember, I was short 3 gold stocks,
yes.
NEM, AU, and AEM.
Right.
And based on your opinion, you've been right on the mark with this. Boy, it was wonderful, Tom. I got to be honest with you. It's unbelievable what you're doing for your radio listeners.
Oh, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 9 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. To master love, you have to practice love. The art of relationship is a whole mastery, and the only way to reach mastery is with practice. To master a relationship is therefore about action. It's not about attaining knowledge. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow Industrials up 227, NASDAQ up 74, S&P's up 27, gold contract down $15.10, traded at $1,335 an ounce. Silver off 29 cents at $21.19 an ounce. Platinum up $5 at $1,463 an ounce. Copper up 3.5 pennies at $3.25 a pound. Light sweet crude down $1.64, trading out at 103.29 a barrel. Bonds 10-year down 23 ticks at 125.27. 30-year down a point and 12 ticks at 133.26. King dollar up 75 ticks, trading out at 80.16. The euro flat at 137, and the yen up 81, trading at 102.26. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? The high that was generated last Friday, 1867.92. Bottom line, to take that high out, we do 646 million versus the 959. But you're over the high. That means you can go higher on your S&P. Dow Industrials. We go to the Dow Industrials. You take a look at the Dow Industrials. Dow Industrials are right at ICE. Dow Industrials went up $227. ICE is laying at 16,372 or at 16,395. Also didn't have the juice on it. The Dow high is at 16,588. NASDAQ Composite. What do we have with the Composite? Composite gets to another high also, up $74. We are at 43.51. That number at the 43.51, the high of Friday, was 43.42. You're over that high, 2.3 billion versus 2.6 billion. We go into the NDX 100. Now, this is where let's do the NDX 100 first. NDX 100, what do we have? You got over the high of Friday, which is 90.96. You get to 90.98. You did 32 million shares versus 48. So the NDX 100 is a failure. That's how this shakes out. We go to the small caps, the IWM. Now, the IWM, this is really intriguing. The IWM ended up doing 109 million shares, so there must be a reworking of the IWM, evidently. But what you have is this, okay? So she's at a high. It hit 120.58. It is a monster volume up there. That means it's going to be tested, number one. We go take a look at the diamonds, okay, the DIA. What you're going to see with the diamonds is this. Diamonds did 7.9 million. We're going into 9.9 million, okay? I'm going to go back to the S&P for a second, the SPY, so you can see what this is all about. So what we had yesterday is this. Friday, you get to a high at 187.15. You do 158 million in the SPY. Yesterday, we come down with 167. Bottom line, we're talking about that rejected lower price, had lighter volume. That puts a test into the high on. You tested the high out here today. Guess what? You get over the high, has volume. That means that the high in the S&P today will get tested, which is about 40 cents higher. Different ball game in the Qs. The NDX 100, which led us up, bottom line couldn't handle it up here. What you had with the Qs is that the Qs had got to a price point on Friday of 90.96. You did that with 48 million. You came down yesterday. There were no sellers at all yesterday on the way down. You came down with 38 million. You go high today and fail with 32 million. That's saying that, guess what? The NDX 100 is going to be going back down to the 88, 87 level. You know, we'll see how the Dow can actually get higher. The S&P absolutely can get higher. NDX 100, though, bottom line, that's saying that's coming lower. Gold contract. Let's go to the gold contract. What do we have with gold? Well, gold, that April downdraft, folks, okay, stop gold, stop silver dead in its tracks. And bottom line, what you had out here is that you had the physical metal going higher. The equities weren't going higher. What does that set up? That sets up, guess what? The correction coming back is still on. And to me, it's going to be a normal correction after gold. You know, gold had gone straight up from December from 1187 up to the 1350 area. We got up $30 yesterday. You pull back today, and you pull back $15. Not the end of the world. And as one of our targets says, it's railroad tracks, and that is a railroad track. So the way a railroad track sets up, folks, is that you like to buy a 0.618 retracement off that move. And what a railroad tracks is, spikes higher, does the same type of situation on the way down, and it does that, you know, within 2 days. And that's exactly how that baby is set up. Now, let's go over to the bond market. TY. Okay, so what do we have with bonds out here? We had the 10-year pullback, and we are at $22. This is after we are challenging the high of 126.25. The way this is pulling back right now, I suspect the 10-year will get into 125.19. We'll see whether the volume stays light on this pullback. If you take a look at the TLT for the correlation inside that, the TLT, which is the 20-plus year, came back on 8 million shares. That 8 million is coming into 10.3 million. It's coming into 5.5 million. It's coming into 7.2 million. So the TLT can get back into this 106.68, and we'll see whether the volume lightens up at that point. 30-year, we go take a look at the 30-year bond we have at the 30-year. She came back almost $1.50. She can, now this is, the 30-year had already taken over the 134.08. Bottom line, she can come back somewhere into the 133.06 level. 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. I know what's going on in your world. Let's go over to that dollar. We take a look at that dollar. King dollar, what is she doing out there? Okay, so this is what she has. King dollar up 80 ticks. We're at 80.17. Now, what King dollar had done is this. She had totally rejected lower price last Friday. Last Friday, she got it to 79.70. And that 79.70 was going against the December 18th low. Had lighter volume as it went against it. It got back inside the higher range out here today. That's saying the King dollar wants to make a run for this 81.18 level. You know, so bottom line is that what you can expect is that we're going to see a higher dollar. The XAU, the HUI, inside that gold market, what we have with the XAU, the HUI, they were flat out here today. Bottom line, they also ran into that April downdraft, and that April downdraft, folks, is going to take cause in order to get through. You know, I suspect most of the time when you go into a downdraft like that, it's 3 or 4 times up before it will break through. We've been up there twice thus far. The first time we were up there in August, we got close to it in February. I suspect, yes, there's going to be another run. Bottom line, we'll see what kind of juice it has going up and into it. NDX 100. So inside the NDX 100 today, this is what you had. Now, this gets interesting because the NDX itself failed at the highs, yet just about every stock was up in the NDX 100. Symantec was down, but it was only down 39 cents. You had Green Mountain down $1.32. Intuitive Surgical was down $4.33, and NTAP was down 32 cents. So you can see that inside the NDX 100, you actually had selling, but it was very subtle going across the markets. And the reason I'm saying that is that you're talking about 4 to 6 stocks that were negative, and they weren't negative that much when, in fact, You got up into those highs, and it couldn't hold those highs. The NDX 100 absolutely should have been able to hold those highs because we're not talking about a huge amount of volume up at those levels. If we go to the leaders that had been the leaders, Google was up $12. Google couldn't get over its high. We go to Amazon. We take a look at Amazon. Amazon was up $4, couldn't get over its high. Microsoft, we take a look at Microsoft. That's a big weighting inside the NDX 100. That was up 63 cents, couldn't get over its high. Bottom line here, GILD, these biotechs have been driving the NDX, no doubt. Gilead, same deal, up $1.49, couldn't get over its high. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. You stay right there, folks. We're coming right back. The Dow Industrials finished up 227, Nasdaq up 74, S&P's up 28, gold down 15.10, 15.20, silver off 23 cents. We're going to be right back.